Hi, so this is a video just sharing what I took with me to on the trip to London with Helen Stark of the Time Foragers Club. So some of you will know that I did mention this in a previous post and in a chat thread that we're going to be meeting up in London. And yeah, I'm packing this now on the Saturday before, and we're going on the Monday. So yeah, I wanted to just show what I bring, and it'll be interesting to see what I bring as opposed to what I actually use. And it's normally the case that I don't use very much at all. And I think because of where we'll be, it'll be quite busy in the British Museum, and I'll probably sketch on the train as well, but I won't bring a huge amount. So yeah, I'm going to try and keep it minimal. Yeah, so I thought you might like to see what I pack. So first what I'm going to do is going to just clear out all the things I had already in here, which was just kind of random bits and pieces. I will bring, this is my Pith Cara sketchbook, which I really love. It's great for just, you know, stuff in the studio, but also really good for sketching out and about as well. So, and it fits perfectly in this case, which I've had for a while. It's really handy. It's got like loads of little pockets and a zip and space to put my pencils, so it's perfect. There is actually an extra compartment, but I don't end up using it. So yeah, start with the Pith Cara sketchbook, and then I'm just going to decide what else to bring. I think the things I tend to always go for are some pens. So I think last summer I started using pens a bit more regularly and taking them out with me more regularly. So I got myself a little collection, and they're basically chisel pens. So if you can see, it's got like a chisel tip. So I got myself some of those, and I found them to be really, really useful when I'm just wanting to do quick drawings. This is really nice. It's a brush sign pen, but I've actually found it really nice for doing writing, for just writing. I'll see if I can show you. So back out again. So I found it really nice. I'll just find a blank page. I've got some blank pages here. Yeah, you can get a really nice variety of line on there. And it just really is really nice to kind of write with. So this is actually something I'm using a little bit more regularly now if I'm doing any handwritten stuff. But it's also nice for drawing as well. So I'll be bringing this one, and I'll probably, there's a few different ones. So this one here is a slightly chunkier chisel. This is another kind of brush pen, and again it's that kind of quite soft. This one is this is much softer, and it also is grey, so that's great. It's really good to have like a nice mixture. I don't know if it blends. Oh, it does kind of blend. Yeah, so you can actually blend it with the other brush pen, which is nice. So this is a bit firmer than the other one, but yeah, it's nice actually. Quite a nice mix. And then if I was to put this one on top, let's see, I think it's quite a nice blend. Yeah, that's good. Quite like that. So yeah, I'll be bringing these. There's a mixture of these different ones, different types of different widths, and this one's got on an angle. I'll probably just end up using like the same one, but that one's got that's got a bit of give in it, so when you push it down it's quite soft. And I've got a nice grey one as well somewhere that I can't see at the minute, but I'm sure it's somewhere. So yeah, collection of chisel pens, brush pens, black ones and grey. So that will go in. And oh yeah, this is my grey one. This is my other grey one, which I really like, because you can get a nice right, there you are. So yeah, that's nice. You can get some nice kind of shapes, nice variety of shapes in there. Sorry, shapes, line widths. So that's nice. This one, oh, it also blends, yeah. So I think these are all kind of water-based, or blendable at least. Yeah. So they work really well. They're really good as a simple little set. They're really good. And there's a few other things I might bring. I might bring this. Probably not that one. Probably the Neo Colour one. Be quite nice. So and then if I do some areas of like grey backgrounds, I can then kind of work on top with the white a little bit. So that's always useful. It's always good to bring a white pencil, though I don't know if this one shows up so well. That is still a bit wet. So I always like to bring now, one of my other favourite ones to bring pencils is this one, the Pitt Graphite, and this is the 14B. It's one of my favourites. So it's not too shiny, which is nice. So it's got no graphite, but it's not too shiny. But it's got a nice, it's not, you can't blend it. Well, a tiny bit. I think it's not water, you can't blend it with water. You can probably blend it with like an oil, like a blending solution. But yeah, I think for the purposes of what I'm going to be using it for, I'll just won't bother with that. But yeah, so I'll bring this one, and it's nice because it just gets a bit of extra texture. So I'll just keep it really minimal. Probably I might even just stick to black and white. But so my go-tos at the moment are like these. I mean, I might bring one colour, just something that I think might work together. Yeah, so I'll switch to time lapse, and then you can see me packing, and then you can see what I bring. yeah, here is the result of my frantic scribbling. To just try and figure out what I want to bring. So I mean, this is kind of everything. It's quite a lot really, and I'm sure I will use probably like a third of these things, so we will see. But I'm going to lay it out now, and then you can kind of get a bit of an idea of what types of things I've brought. Hello. So yeah, hopefully you can see this okay. Yeah, so this is everything. It does feel like quite a lot. I probably could have halved this, and I might just take a bit less anyway. So I've got a mixture of Ecoline and Tombow brush pens, just in like some greys, and these are a bit brighter. These particular ones are quite bright, so they're quite good as for like putting down as a bit of a base if I want a bit of colour. And then I can layer pencils or other like greys over the top. And in here, these are the Derwent water brush pens, and I've put some inks in there. I think this one is Rora and Kleiner. I'm sorry, my pronunciation of that is not very good, but this is some of the burnt sienna, I think. Oh no, this one, burnt sienna, and I think that's a sepia, that one there. So just a little bit in each. I won't use loads, but it's quite nice if you need like something really dark to go down as a base, something really high contrast. And then I've got my grey, which one I really like is like my grey Pentel brush pen. That's actually quite dark, that grey, but you can work with it with other marker pens on top to kind of mix it. And these are all of my chisel pens if I'm just doing quick black line drawings, but there's also some greys in there as well. Could probably take one or two of those out really. I'll see if I bring them both. And then pencils, so I really like my Pitt graphite matte, which is the 14B, it's one of my favourites. The graphite aquarelle, which is the water-based graphite, and 8B. These are two of my ones I really like to use. And then I have a midnight black and a Mars black. So one's a bit more blue, and this is a bit warmer, a bit more brown. And then I have some greys, different ones. I've got a water-based grey. I've got some luminance, and this is quite an old Derwent, but I just really like it. I really like the storm grey. I really like that kind of smoky kind of soft grey. And this is Pablo Caran d'Ache, which is just to work on top if I need to. That's like again, that's a really pale. This is a light beige. And Caran d'Ache water soluble aquarelle wax stick, which for some reason my brain has completely gone and I've completely forgotten the name. This is Neocolor 2, sorry. Yeah, and then a range of other pencils here. So I've got a few which are brighter like colours. So yeah, this is quite nice. This one, it works nicely with this. And then some greens, and then just a purple, just for a bit of extra pop of colour. So you can see here, oops. Yeah, so here is this kind of like this purple here. I don't think I kept that one in actually in the end. I just think I decided against that. I might put it back in because maybe it's quite nice. We'll see. And yeah, and then a whole mixture of like kind of beigey colours, which can work with these greys, and sepia, and this olive drab, which is one of my favourites, and a brown ochre. So if I wanted to work in, you know, different types of browns or greys, I could. But if I did need a bit of colour, then I've got some of these as well to work on top. So yeah, I tend to be quite minimal with my colour, so I don't tend to pack too much. But the blue, this is that blue, and it's nice because you can actually layer things up over the top, so it looks different to how it is on there actually. It's much darker and deeper. Yeah, but now I might bring that kind of purple, I'll see. Yeah, so it does feel like quite a lot. I could probably lose some of the greys, maybe one of the pens, but I'll see. Okay, so this is everything packed up. Not actually put anything in there. Managed to get all my pencils in here and there. It doesn't actually look so much now I've packed it like this, and this is just if I wanted to have this in my handbag for the train, it's a bit easier. so I can put that in my kind of bag and I have that as like a ready thing to kind of use. I actually did bring my little it's like a little A6 sketchbook. So yeah, it's quite small, quite portable, and then I can just use that one on the train. And then inside here, pens, water brush pens. This is a really great spray that the lovely Beth Spencer gave to me when she came over and visited the UK, and I met with her in Brighton. And it's like a water spray, and it's really useful if you wanted to spray your page and then put some mediums on top, like, you know, water soluble pencils on top, or you wanted to just spray it to try and blend more easily. It's really great. So I brought that in case I want to use it for my Tombow pens. And then the sketchbook sits in the middle, sorry, the bottom, and then a pencil sharpener. And that's it, really. Got my Neo Colour 2 white, and that's it. It actually feels quite minimal now it's all together. So yeah, that's the whole lot. So this is me leaving the countryside and just on the train in the morning, leaving all of the fields and the farmland, and then getting through towns. You can see the colours of the bricks change and becomes a bit more industrial. I really like that. I really like those kind of changes in the landscape as you're going through. And oh yeah, and also all the graffiti, and yeah, it's really interesting. And then this is when we're coming into London Euston Station. So as you can see, this is now approaching the station, starting to slow down. And then from here, I then walked to meet Helen. And I was going through there was a lot of universities in this area, and some Bloomsbury as well. So you'll see in a minute there'll be some old artist residences. I like the juxtaposition of the buildings, so the old and the new is really nice. This is University College. I really like the bricks and the symmetry and the patterns and the bikes outside. And then I was walking through Bloomsbury, and this is a building where the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood was founded, and I thought that was really interesting, so I took some photos. And this one, this is a lady called Lady Ottoline Morel, who was a socialite and patron of the arts, and I thought that was an interesting building. And this one was Dame Millicent Garrett Fawcett, who was a pioneer of women's suffrage. So it was really interesting to see those buildings as I was going through, and to take a bit of time to notice them. And this is on the approach to Cornelissen. So yeah, this is approaching the beautiful art shop where I met Helen. And yeah, it's like amazing. Even as you approach it, it's just got such a wonderful feeling to it. And on this gold sign on the outside, and then inside was Helen. And it wasn't actually that busy when I first arrived, but it did get quite busy. And then this was us, yeah, I had to wander around. This was after I met Helen. I didn't just wander in and start filming things without saying hello to her. So yeah, we'd met and we just had a little chat, and then we just was basically going around and just looking at all the gorgeous materials. You can see just so much to take in. We didn't spend like absolutely loads of time because we needed a bit of a schedule. We had to kind of carry on and get going, and so we could fit in all the other things we wanted to do. But I did make some purchases. I think Helen might have spent a bit more than I did.
A bit like a selfie stick,
but this is us talking about selfie sticks. And about this was outside trying to get a photo, and then eventually we managed to get a photo of us without people in it. It was very funny. And that's the outside of the really beautiful shop. We went for a cocktail in the Coral Rooms, which is this, it was just over the road. Really beautiful hotel, bar, really gorgeous. Oh my goodness, could have spent all day in there as well. And I had this really lovely artwork on the walls, which I loved. And this parrot lamp, which is really kitsch and weird, but I just loved it. Yeah, lots of lovely art, but one particular artist, I can't remember who it was now, I'll try and remember. Yeah, this was Helen, just straight away in there drawing, sketching. And then we had a lovely cocktail, and I did a little sketch of Helen. Yeah, I didn't do a huge amount of sketching, as you'll see at the end. Oh, there was a really nice loo. The loos were lovely, so we had to go and quickly visit the loo. This was us as we arrived at the British Museum. It was very wet, rainy, we had to queue for a bit to get in, but it was fine. And then just on inside we met Natasha Cross. There she is, there's Natasha, hello. And we sat in this sort of Grecian, it's quite a quiet area, and we did a bit of sketching and chatting, and I found these lovely bronze little statues, objects, little kind of sculptures that I thought were really sweet and I really loved, and so I sketched them. I love the way he's tilting his neck like that, it's really interesting. So as you can see, I used very little, and I'll show you at the end the very few materials that I used. Helen was a bit more adventurous. She had quite a few different things that she brought out, and some brush pen, and I think it was her Neo colours I think she was using. Yeah, so she did lots of lovely sketching, and then just at the end we were having to leave because they were getting ready to close, but I just saw these and I love the kind of storytelling element on these vases. They're incredible. And then out we go. That's it, and that was the end. That was the end of our lovely day. Helen stayed for a bit and met up with a friend, and I got the train back, and the sun came out just at the end of the day. Hey, so yeah, this is I'm just doing the filming since I've come back from London, and I wanted to share what I took with me versus what I used. And yeah, it was I had such a wonderful time. It was so lovely to meet Helen and Natasha and just be somewhere different and have just see something, just a different view basically, different place, different sights and sounds, very different to where I normally, spend my time. So it was wonderful. But as I shared in the beginning, like basically what I brought, I bought this little kind of travel case, which I do like to carry around because it's really, I really like using these chisel pens. They're quite quick and easy to use. But I had lots of Ecolines, lots of pencils. So yeah, I bought quite a lot. Obviously I did a lot of swatching. See if I can find that swatching page. Yeah, so I basically swatched all of these, and I basically used pretty much those. Just those. Just a couple of water-based brush pens, and this is my favourite, current favourite, Faber-Castell Pick Graphite Matte 14B, and I like it because it's not like kind of I think I like it because it's got like it's like a pencil, but it's so dark, and I like how it's good for blending. You can use it a little bit of water, but it's not really a water base, but you can blend it a little bit. You can smudge it a tiny bit, but generally it's pretty, it stays on once it's on. And I just I like using it just for adding bits of detail, but it's not like a black pencil. It's not like, this is quite different. This is, that's the Mars Black, where's my, so like the Luminance Black, that's also not black. Where are you? Somewhere. Let's have a look. Is that it? Little stub? Yeah. So you've got the Luminance Black, and that one is, it's just a bit different. I don't know what it is. I think I just like the fact that this is very smooth and creamy, and there's literally nothing you can do with that once it's on. It's very dark, whereas this is kind of like a nice in between. It has like a feel of a pencil, but also like a coloured pencil. So yeah, I do like using this at the moment. It's one of my favourites. But yeah, I didn't do much sketching. As predicted, I just didn't. I'm not very good at chatting and drawing, so, and I was just, me and Taylor were having such a lovely time, just, really just chatting about all kinds of things. So I drew Helen in the coral rooms, and this chap who was sitting across from us, there was somebody sitting opposite him there, which I didn't manage to get in. But I also, when I went to the British Museum, there was the most beautiful, we went to the Grecian kind of area, and there was the most just beautiful, incredible objects, sculptures, vases, just these little sculptures, they were just really small, and me attracted to little tiny objects, and they were just so beautiful. They were really simple, but just exquisite, and I just the way that the the expression, and also just the placing of the feet, the neck, the way this head moved around. I just was really captivated by it. So I sketched those, and then there was this one. I only saw the back of this from the, it was like on the other side of the case, but I thought it was a really interesting, again, really small sculpture, and I really loved, like, couldn't see what the figure was holding, but it had this interesting headdress, and I didn't have a huge amount of time to sketch it, but yeah, I thought it was, I was really just interested in these little objects and why people would create objects like out, you know, these are not, you know, these are not easy things to make now, and so then they wouldn't have been easy, and the material would have been expensive. So you just think, what, you know, like, is that kind of why would they make that, and what would the inspiration be, and just thinking about all around that. And I think drawing is great for just kind of making you curious about the thing that you're looking at. So you can easily look at that. Obviously there's so much in that museum, it's just, you walk through and you kind of glaze over because there's so much to look at. But I think just focusing on those few little objects just gives you such, even for just a short time, gives you a really much deeper appreciation, and drawing does that. It helps you to kind of be curious, investigate, answer questions, and figure out how you're kind of, just how you feel about it. Yeah, it was really wonderful. Even just those literally those tiny objects, and it's just, which was obviously a tiny fraction of what's in there, but it was just great to just spend some time just looking at them, and get a bit lost in it. So yeah, I really loved that. Could have easily spent hours in there, hours and hours and hours and days and days, but they were closing, so we did have to go. But yeah, I just wanted to show what I used compared to what I packed. And I think, you know, will I learn from this? Probably not. I probably won't. I'll probably keep bringing just loads and loads of things, and maybe in time, I think each time I go, I'm hoping that I'll get better and do less and less. But I think if I'd been on my own and I'd had, you know, a whole day just drawing on my own, I probably would have used a lot more. But, you know, realistically, I need to think, who am I with? What's the purpose? Where am I? What am I visiting? You know, how many places am I visiting? Are we staying in one area? You know, if it's outdoors, you know, is it a good idea to use certain types of material? You know, it's one of those things. I had to just put these in my pocket and kind of wander around, because I didn't want to be standing, because I was standing while drawing these, and I didn't want to have to carry my case and my sketchbook, and, you know, it was quite a lot. So I just wanted to have a few things in my pocket when I wandered off to this case to look at these. So yeah, all these little questions, and I think, yeah, every time I'm sure my bag will get lighter, or I'll just be a bit more intentional about what I'm bringing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I had a wonderful time, and it's always interesting, these kind of little videos, because it does make me think a bit more about what I'm bringing, what I'm packing, the planning and the prep. And I think anything that can reduce a bit of prep and planning time in future, because if I want to do more drawing out and about, and sometimes it can feel a bit overwhelming, thinking, oh, but I've got to pack all of this, and you know, and actually you don't, you know, I could just go out with these and I could still create something. So it's a good lesson there, I think, to end on. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.